TED Talk. How I taught myself to be more courageous. Finally, in February 2012, I came out live on a national television in support of same-sex marriage. And from there, my courage snowballed. And the more I did, the more I realized that courage is not a state of being. It is a way of doing it. It was in the act of doing something brave that I became brave. And it changes my way I could never have anticipated. Firstly, my cognitive abilities actually improved and became more accurate. I was able to perceive that while homophobia is very real, it is not everywhere. Secondly, I was less affected by those people who actually are homophobic. It wasn't that I became recklessly different, it was more likely develop an immunity, and the virus of homophobia lose its power to corrupt my operating system. Thirdly, my desire and ability to fight for what is right grew stronger. Some people suggest this in light of my family, but it was my blood, giving me a kind of genetic edge like Michael Phelps' numerous arm span. More studies are confirming the existence of intergenerational trauma. Is there, I wondered, such a thing as intergenerational courage? Well, recently I had my DNA tested, and it turns out that there is a gene nicknamed the warrior gene. I don't have it. In fact, what I do have is called the warrior gene. This appearance means that I'm good at multitasking but prone to psychosocial anxiety. Tell me something I don't know. Now, had I actually been paying attention during any of my philosophy degree, I would have known. Our education was free, you know. But look at me as using it now. I would have known that Aristotle had in fact answered my question 2,500 years ago. He believed that virtues are not qualities that we are born with, but habits that we acquire, and that we learn them by doing them. Quote, just as men became builders by building and lyre player by playing the lyre. Had I known that, perhaps I would treat myself more kindly. Instead of calling myself a coward, perhaps I might have thought that courage was, in part, just a skill I had not yet learned. In August in 2017, after 14 years and 22 billion, the chronically deadlocked Australian Parliament decided to put same-sex marriage to popular vote. Very quickly, the arguments became vicious and bitterly divisive. The government opted to take a hands-off approach, and in the moderate vacuum created by this total absence of political leadership, My long-standing fame led to me become a kind of public unofficial face of the Yes campaign. Despite looking funny, it was actually a very daunting responsibility. It would be terrible if we lost, not just in Australia. A victory for no side might also bolster discrimination in countries where LGBTQI people are persecuted and killed. But even if we won, would the gains be worth the cost of dragging the LGBTQI community through a very damaging, ugly debate? Civil rights struggles are long and hard and never fully won. And over the course of this journey, they require many types of courage at different stages. Sometimes fearless individuals are needed to pave the way, but at other times when I need it are the gentle arts of conciliation and unification. I don't regret my fear. It taught me humanity, patience, and compassion for suffering, and perhaps that was just the right kind of courage that was needed for that moment. I knew I was gay when I was 5 years old. That was 1966. Terrified and alone, I saw my fear and I called myself a coward. 50 years later, I would never ever claim to have a courage of my ancestry. But with persistence, willingness, and shift of understanding, I was able to increase the small amount I did have to become one of the most effective campaigner for LGBTQ rights in this country. Courage may be crucial for our survival, but it is powerful magic and it serves us but it is powerful magic and it serves us best when it is placed in a constellation of other virtue. Without kindness and common sense, it can be cruel and reckless. So, if we are to be brave, perhaps our first brave act should be to look with intelligence and compassion at our courage. And just a quick postscript. I misjudged my father. After he died, I came across a quote he had written Nicocally controversial. It's all perceived proverb and it means even Hercules is afraid when confronted with many enemies. Because, as it turns out, my father didn't have the worry gene either. Thank you.